Okay, it's Sunday night, December 7th. This is the NASDAQ. It's about to be rolling over here. So I shorted on Friday morning, well, afternoon, expecting this thing to come on down, and now it's open Sunday night right at the close on Friday, pulled back a little bit, and it's just now starting to come down. And here you can see it's pulled back. We get the initial push lower here, then a churn bar, high relative volume per range bar, and then it pulls back on 1, 2, 3 30-minute bars on decreasing low volume, and now it's starting to roll. So it should get the push lower in the overnight, and we'll come back and see what this looks like in the morning. Okay, so it's the following morning, just before the open, 8:23 Central. It has come down, so that's nice. It's broken through the uptrend channel, where this correction has traced out this channel. So now obviously we're going to gap lower at the open, and then most likely come on down. So here's the 240, including the overnight. We've finally broken out below the channel, so we should get the accompanying C wave to go with this A wave down, and that should look something like this to give us a target. Maybe 42.54, maybe a little bit lower. 42.54. Here's the daily, just now breaking out. And we'll see what this looks like after the open. Okay, so this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. Let's see. So yes, we had the gap down, and then immediately at the open we've gone straight back up, such as here. Came rushing right down, then straight back up. Probably some news or something. Now this is kind of the deciding factor here. Either if we're going to go up from here, then we will continue up, most likely on this next bar. If we're going to stop here up at the top of this trend line, this downtrend channel now, this one, let me just change that color, then we'll reject off of this and come back down. So this might just be a kind of a fake out wide-ranging bar to get people psyched out to start going long, so that they can put on a very massive short position. Could be happening. We have a high back here that we still have not quite broken above, and then the high here and the high here. My stop is right here at slightly behind this high. So I think what I'll do is I will bring my stop down to about right here below this high, and then give it maybe an hour to work itself out, see if it's going to continue up. If it is, I may just decide to get out once we break above this high. So going back to the 5-minute, yeah, that's straight up, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue higher. It looks like it's going to continue higher to day traders that lose money. So a lot of those guys are going long right now because they think this thing, it's going to the moon, and they're going to be marking it down now. So as it's getting higher, you can see that the volume is dropping off rather than increasing. So that's kind of a good sign that that might be it, and then we could be coming back down. So I'm just going to let it work itself out over the next half hour to hour and a half, and let it put in a few more bars. Kind of have a feeling this thing is going to top out right in here around this high, and then pull back, and then when it pulls back, we'll see whether it's going to pick up steam to the downside or not. Okay, so it has pulled back about 50%, and now it's going back up, but catching some friction here. Could be just breaking out and then pulling to the underside, and then we're about to come down. So I'm not going to give up on it just yet. Not yet. Talk about a perfect trade setup right there. So maybe go a little bit higher, then have finally this little volume divergence. Okay, on the 1 minute we now have two churn bars back to back. Okay, yeah, so that was the high, but well, this was the high right here, but kind of a little double top right here. I mean, this is a 1 minute chart, but exactly same high as right here. So I think when it breaks this low, I will go ahead and get out of one of my contracts. It'll probably come down to the 61.8 here, at which point I'll take one off.
Order pending.
And then reduce this to 1 and then see what happens. So we should come down and break this low and tag that. Maybe, let's see if we have confluence at 78.6. Yeah, we do. See if we can come down there. Let's say this low right here. Okay, so here we're coming down now. I've just moved this order down a little bit. There's a climax bar. It's the 5 minute. So we're coming down steadily, coming lower. Now we're at yesterday's low. There's the 161.8, coming lower still. Wow, still coming lower, so okay, there it's coming back in. Okay, so I'm going to take one off here.
Order filled.
Okay, so now we'll see what becomes of this. We're back into
Order canceled.
the support zone here, as you can see, showing a churn bar. So we do have support coming in. Obviously, I mean, you can see the accumulation that was here, and then they marked it up. Distribution. Now they're marking it down. So we may just fly right through this, which is why I'm leaving one on. Yeah, you see the strength with which we came down to this zone. So we are going through it now, but it's going to take a lot of contracts to get through that spot. As you can see, 660%. Ooh, now we're coming right through the low. Okay, there's the break of the low. Alright, so I'm still short 1. Yeah, now it's getting up some speed. There we go. So we just flew right through that support. That's why trading support and resistance can be pretty difficult on your account if you don't know what to expect. So this bar right here, remember how I was saying that this could just be a psych out to get people to start going long so that they can build an even larger short position. And that's essentially what this was. So now we've broken back below this low and we're heading for the bottom of the channel. So I did get out when it got back into the previous accumulation, which was this morning, and then they unload all of it here after the open for the US session. And now we've broken out, so it would be nice to see a pullback to previous support, watch that become resistance, and then come lower. But that may not happen. That may not happen at all. It's coming straight down now. Really wish I would have held on to that other contract, but hey, at least I'm still short 1. Wish I had a larger account. I'd be short 200 if I could. So really, rather than tightening up my stop like this, I'm going to put my stop back here, just slightly below break even. And then I'm going to give this thing some room now. What should happen is break through this trend line. So we'll make a temporary bottom at one of these lows. You can see we're already all the way down to the bottom of this channel. We may find a little bit of support here before going through, but yeah, I think this is just the beginning of a very large push lower, which is why I wanted to be short 2 rather than just 1, but still kind of hard to control your emotions when you're expecting something and then you kind of self-sabotage. But at least I got out in a good spot at previous support here. Okay, so we have had a bit of a retracement now off of the bottom of this channel. That's the perfect look. Volume divergence at the low at S3, which is also the 61.8 of this entire move, the expansion or the projection, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so you can see it, the bottom has fallen out and we have broken this low. So my first target has been met, but see, I only have one contract short. So I would be taking the first contract off here if this bar didn't spook me out. And the funny thing is I expected that this was a kind of a psych out bar. So, you know, what can you do? If I could have shorted more, well, I should have. I could have. You know, whatever. Okay, so it's the end of the day. Market is closed. You can see this would have been the place to exit for the day trade. If you were wanting to just, you know, break the low, we've met the requirements for the A, B, C. So that is all that's required for a kind of an A, B, C correction, and then we could possibly be going higher after that. But I'm of the opinion that this is the first break, the first day breaking below this uptrend channel, and that tomorrow will be an even larger down day. So I'm holding again overnight, but this is the spot to get out if you are day trading. And just to show you, this is the bottom of the channel, bringing it back to this low. Let me just show you what else that is, because essentially what I had done before was, let me see which chart that is on. Yeah, so on this chart we brought the channel back to this low, and then to this low and this low. But this is the 15-minute RTH chart. Okay, obviously what it was this low, rather than the lowest low here. But anyway, that's the RTH chart. This is the ETH chart. And what this is 1272 of this move. So this is an expansion or a projection of this move. Sorry, of this move, and then it came down to 1272. And then this one, the 1618, is from this low to this high. 1618 expansion. Okay, so we had overlap there. We had the confluence zone right where? Right at the bottom of the channel, right? Typical. Now this 100% extension is from the high to this low. And if I were to choose this low, then the next spot is down here, which is also the 1272, or the negative 27.2 of this entire move from high to low. And then the most important channel would be the larger channel from the high to the high here, and then down to this low rather than the extreme low. Since this is such a large wick, I'm using this higher low, and that is exactly where demand came in and pushed the market up, and then running the extension to that low and then to this high gives us the 100% right here. So we came down through that to the bottom of the channel and then up. So I imagine we'll hopefully that's not the permanent low. I'm hoping that we'll get down through that. Probably not going to happen overnight, but some point tomorrow maybe. Maybe I'll make another video showing how, you know, the outcome of this trade if I don't get stopped out. Okay, so that's all for now.